What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is Friday, March 29th, 2024, and we are standing at Polderbaan. At the moment, the only runway being used for arrivals. And our first airplane is approaching, a CRJ 900 SAS, arriving from Copenhagen. Flight 2551. And it's also going to be the first butt shot of the day. "15 years old, this one. First flight January 2009. Coming in next, KLM flight 682, an Airbus A388-200 arriving from Vancouver, Canada. Eight hours and 49 minutes underway. This airplane 18 years old. First flight was in October 2005. And a very good morning to everybody who has tuned in already. It is Good Friday, as it is called in the Netherlands today. And the day is certainly beginning well. Still windy from the south. This is with image stabilizer enabled already. But we have good visibility to the north. And we have some interesting airplanes underway, including the Icelandair A380. Hopefully after this landing I have a few moments to show you guys what is coming. It's the PH-AOC, this one. Looks like there's an Embraer 195 coming from Warsaw, LOT, flight 265. Which looks like it's going to be the next airplane. Still flying base, just north of Wormerveer. So we do have a couple of minutes after this landing. Low key wheelie. Runway configuration very much to what we've been used to. The north-south runways are being used. Hey Wolfgang, morning. I also saw Captain Glideslope. He commented on the almost go-around of the DHL A300 yesterday. So he is alive and kicking. I can confirm that as well. Now folks, this is the weather. Wind is blowing from the south, so headwind for the airplane's landing, no crabbing. We have a 14 knot wind, 4 above 4, few clouds at 1500 feet, 10 plus kilometers of visibility, there is no ceiling. The air temperature is 9 degrees Celsius, that is 18 plus 30, 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Runway usage is always lagging. In actual practice, everything is going to Polderbaan. What's in store? The Icelandair A380 from Maleth-Aero is coming in, expected around 11:30 local time. And we have two 747s relatively close by and back to back. Saudia cargo up first, arriving from Jeddah around 10:38, so in an hour and 10 minutes or so from now. 10 minutes behind it is the Cathay Pacific cargo 7478. Silkway also coming. Silkway West arriving from Baku around 11:50. is now in Romanian airspace, and A380 is flying over the Black Sea, is expected around 12:30. More 747s are underway, but these are all further out. This one is expected around 10 to 3, and these are expected past 3 o'clock local time. So yeah, that's what's in store for us today. In the meantime, I see a light behind us. Let's turn back the camera. Big picture wise, this is what it looks like. This is where the wind is coming from. This is looking to the south. This is looking to the southwest. This is looking to the west. Southeast. East. Northeast. 14 knot wind on the chimney smoke scale. Looks like this from the south. Ripples in the water look like these. Like this, I should say. Righty, back to the north. Up first, Embraer 195, lot flight 265, arriving from Warsaw. 1 hour and 51 minutes underway. This airplane, it's an Embraer 195 long range, 14 years old. First flight was in January 2010. And left of it, you can see that there's another airplane turning onto the Glideslope. That is an A320neo from SAS, coming to Amsterdam from Oslo. Now, there's even a little contrail visible up in the sky over here. Hope you guys can see it. Hope I'm pointing the camera in the right direction. Yes, there it is. Have not yet seen the firefighters, so we might also see them later in the morning. Hey Jimmy Pirate, goedemorgen. Are you coming over later? Thought that Evelyn was also coming by. Might also see Don Zelli and his father again, who were here yesterday as well. Looks like everything is setting up to get gezellig here, as we say in Dutch. Righty, 2 airplanes on the Glideslope in the foreground. That means top right, A320neo SAS arriving from Oslo. In the background, another A320neo from EasyJet arriving from London Luton. Let's see, there's an airplane turning onto the Glideslope from the left somewhere in the background, according to flight radar. So I'm thinking it has to be lower, which would be KLM flight 668, the Dreamliner returning from Austin, Texas. Not seeing it. Higher? Probably not. More to the left then? Maybe. It's always hard to assess where airplanes are in actual real time based on what you see on flight radar. And Cos, good morning, who says, I saw an A340 at hangar 14. Was that the one from Surinam or? Ah, and there's the Dreamliner at 7 o'clock of the number 2. So we have a nice 3 airplane Glideslope shot here. Hey there Martinair, goedemorgen. Daniel, good morning. All other viewers, good morning. SAS flight 821 arriving from Oslo. 1 hour and 28 minutes underway. Swedish registration, SEDOS. SEDOZ. And this airplane is 6 years old. Again, flying in April 2017, so it will turn 7 next month. And next month begins next week already. And another butt shot, or is it? No, it's continuing. Ah, it was the Surinam A340. Nice. Good morning, Rose. Goedemorgen, Lena. JD, good morning. Hadi Han, goedemorgen. Goedemorgen, Peter. Next up, EasyJet A320neo arriving from London Luton, flight 22513. 41 minutes underway, that is par for the course. 6-year-old airplane, first flight May 2017, so this airplane will turn 7 a month after the SAS will turn 7. Two consecutive planes with 1 month of difference in age. Gaza! Gaza! What's up, my Gaza? Sort of the equivalent of the English word dude in Dutch is gozer or gast. Gozer, Gaza. It all looks like the same. All looks the same. Hadi Marissa, goedemorgen. Good to see you again. Fritz, guten Morgen. Schön, dass du wiedermals dabei bist. Herzlich willkommen. Salut Jean-Yves. Good to see you too, mon ami. Hope all is well. Hey Stefan, goedemorgen. Flying AMS Live logo up next. KLM flight 668 7879 Dreamliner returning from Austin, Texas, where this airplane left from 8 hours and 34 minutes ago, according to Flight Radar. It's the PHBHD. BHD, yeah. 8 years old. January 2016 is when it first began flying. Captain Eddie Boss, good evening. Good to see you again. Say hello to cousin Andian for me. Nephew, I should say. Subtle distinction between the two words, of course. Awesome. Relatively older man practicing inline skating. Nice to see. Good example to many. Stay active even when you get older. Use it or lose it. That goes for the body and for the brain. Up next, Air Arabia Morocco. Flight 127 returning from Tangier in Morocco. This airplane 2 hours 25 minutes underway. 2 more airplanes visible in the distance. Back to back Air Arabia Morocco. The other one, the number 2, is arriving from Nador. The number 3 is the A319 from BA, returning from London Heathrow. Ha Marja, goedemorgen. Peter, goedemorgen. Good morning. Jackie, goedemorgen kerel. Ricardo en Jin. Good morning. Goedemorgen Michelle. Jin asks about the goods. Well, Chris was making a ruckus here earlier as I was setting up. Not sure where they are right now. I believe Curtis was there as well. Let's have a quick look after the airplane has passed us by. I think they are further up north. Let me see if I can show you in a moment. First an Arabian butt shot. Rachel, good morning. Jaja's Aviation, good morning. Jan, goedemorgen. André, goedemorgen. Good morning. Pesto is asking about grebes. They were here yesterday. I'm pretty sure they're still around. Oh, these are boarding ducks, Donald and Daisy. Yeah. Are they down south then? Hard to see from over here. They were here. I do know that. I can tell you that. Right, more Air Arabia Morocco. This one arriving from Nador, also in Morocco. Flight 121. Squeaky brakes. She's 10 years old. First flight December 2013. David, good morning. Morning Operation Airbus. Sergey says, please take off picture of the to Warsaw. My daughter is there. I am afraid that if she's going to Warsaw, she might be taking off from runway 18 left, which is the furthest removed. Would be very hard to see from over here. Do you know what time she is departing? And what flight number? This is BA flight 430, arriving from London Heathrow, A319, 45 minutes underway. 18 years old, first flight May 2005. Hadi Roadhog, goedemorgen. Now, some of you have reported issues with notifications recently. I posted a URL to a troubleshooter from YouTube in the community section. Yesterday I got the first feedback from Mark, who was having trouble with notifications and told me that after going through that troubleshooter, notifications did arrive properly again. So if you are one of the people who are experiencing issues with notifications, you might want to have a look at that URL that I posted in the community section, the troubleshooter from YouTube help. Seems to be working, at least for Mark it did, so maybe it might benefit you as well. Up next, Finnair, flight 1301, arriving from Helsinki, Finland, A321, 2 hours 22 minutes underway. The airplane 10 years old, first flight September 2013. Good morning, Mrs. Professor, and George, and Arnoud. and all other viewers who might have joined in the meantime. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing alongside runway 18 right, the Polderbaan. At the moment the only runway being used for the arrivals, and the departures take place from 18 center and 18 left. Wind is blowing from the south, 14 knots, according to the meter I checked. Wind is expected to slow down a little as the day progresses. Hey there Mark, good morning. Alrighty, let's see. The next airplane to arrive, BA, flight 2540, arriving from London Gatwick. 46 minutes on their way, 21-year-old airplane. Began flying in November 2002. Alright, bada bing bada boom, time to turn back the camera. Air Canada flight 808 is up next. Arriving from Toronto, Canada. Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, that is 9 years old. First flight April 2014, so another birthday upcoming next month. It will be turning 10 then. Now, congratulations to Roadhog, who celebrates 6 months of membership and is happy with the new badge color. Thank you so much for your continued support there, Roadhog. Hope you still like it in the lounge. If something isn't to your liking, do let me know, see if I can fix it. Thank you so much for your continued support. I hope you're going to stick around for many more months to come. If not as a member, then at least as a frequent visitor. Ready to rob a bank. Will we be getting a Canadian butt shot, a boot shot? How about that? Departure from center in the background, also nice to see in combination with the morning sky here. Combo shot. Also a big thank you to John, our latest Aurora Sky Lounge member. Thank you so much for choosing AMS Live. I hope you will like it in the lounge. Be sure to use the custom emojis that are now at your disposal whenever you see fit. Spam us to death with them if you will. Now I spy with my little eye in the background a triplet of red vehicles. Now looking tiny and quiet, but in a few moments that will all change. Also a little bit of light poking in the distance, that is the bird controller. And meanwhile, EasyJet flight 22921 is arriving in the Netherlands, arriving from Bristol no less, where this airplane departed from 58 minutes ago. And this is not Jesus, but Jesus. 13 years old, this airplane. Still waiting for the coming of Jesus. For now, we have to make do with Jesus. Jesus and Maria. Hadi Ronald, goedemorgen. And the weather is fairly better than yesterday, at least. No precipitation in the beginning. Also feel that the wind seems to be calming down a little bit, although it doesn't look like it looking at the chimney smoke. We did have more sun in the last hour of yesterday's stream, it has to be said. But then again, as long as it stays dry and it is reasonably, in terms of temperature, reasonable temperature. The temperature is reasonable. It's early in the morning here, can you tell? Right, this little airplane, well now it looks little, is actually a big bird. 777-200 arriving from Johannesburg, South Africa, KLM flight 592. Hey, helicopter kestrel has also returned by the looks of it. Mickey Mouse Air Transportation Taxi Company. He's looking for Mickey and Minnie. Bring them from A to B. Careful not to drop them. I'm pretty sure that he's well insured. Hands are off the camera, folks. This is just how quiet, how still these airplanes, these birds, these predator birds can hover. Duo of bird controllers from K1 just passed by, giving me a greet, but I was filming the kestrel. Hey there, Tina. Good morning. Scuderia René. Good morning. Sometimes I have to look twice to see what your names are. Mr. Frister, good morning, Thomas. Patrick, goedemorgen. Hey there, Navy Jack, good morning. Liewe, goedemorgen, kerel. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. Alrighty. KLM flight 592, returning from Johannesburg, South Africa, 10 hours and 35 minutes underway. 777-200 ER, 19 years old, first flight January 2005. Hier ook alles lekker, Liewe. Dankjewel voor het vragen. Thank you for asking. Alrighty. Here they come. Let's prepare. Now, they'll probably also make a bit of noise, yeah, when they are passing by the Spottersplatz parking, which at the moment still seems to be relatively calm. Ready, let's turn back. Up next, KLM Flight 644, arriving from New York, JFK, 7879 Dreamliner, and from the right, hope Michael is already in the chat. His favorite airplane, another CRJ, the second of the stream already. Let's also fixate that tripod. Pan and tilt axis, not necessary when it is still so far away. Where is... Should be on the Glideslope already according to flight radar. Oh, there it is, at 9 o'clock. Still faint. Luckily it has its lights on. We might also see Lufthansa Flight 988 arrive from the right. A320 returning to Amsterdam from Frankfurt. Oh yeah, just above the, there it is. Alrighty, this is KLM Flight 644 arriving from New York, JFK, 6 hours and 18 minutes underway, 7879 Dreamliner, 7 years old, first flight April 2016. Another birthday upcoming in April. What is it with airplanes being delivered in April? A lot of airplanes so far that we've seen having their birthday in April. Alrighty. Up next, the CRJ. Lufthansa Flight 2302 arriving from Munich. That's in the south of Germany in Bavaria. 1 hour and 9 minutes underway. CRJ 900 long range, 14 years old, first flight October 2009. Let's see. Quiet start of the day, it seems like. Don't see any airplanes following the number 2 right away. Like something heavy is taking off. That is the airplane I was hearing. What is that, a 777 to Bogota? Alrighty, up next, Lufthansa Flight 988. Visiting us from a city that is a little bit closer by, Frankfurt. It's an A320, 48 minutes underway, 13 years old. This one turns 10 in May this year. 14, sorry. Heavies are coming. Delta A330-300 and Delta A350-900 are coming this way. Let's see. There's the A330. A350 is further out. Would be awesome if we were able to spot it already. It is still overseas. Yes. Holy cow. Look on flight radar, see where this airplane is. It is still flying over the North Sea. The A350. Good visibility, you might wonder. The answer? Why, yes. There it is, the A330. Delta Airlines Flight 36, A330-300, arriving from Orlando, Florida. 8 hours and a minute underway according to flight radar. Little bit of digital zoom so that we can see how the gear is going to extend. Let's lock both pan and tilt axis, see if that maybe helps a little. Not a whole lot. Now, Evelyn, don't see you just yet. I'm expecting you to arrive on a skateboard. Not seeing you just yet, but thank you for your super chat. Hope to see you in a minute. Do I need to look from the north or to the south to see your arrival? And there's the A350, Flight 74, arrival from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, following in its footsteps, the A350 is KLM Flight 696 and A330-200, arrival from Toronto, Canada. There it is. Hey, morgen. So that is still further out, but it is coming. In the meantime, having arrived by bicycle is Evelyn. Right, she's now crashed into the grass. Has to recover from the headwind that she had underway. Hoeveel? 65 kilometers? Did you just bike the entire way?
Yeah.
You're crazy. Chris and Curtis Coot. You guys were wondering, where are they? They're here. Keeping silent though. Now in the meantime, this airplane has flown 8 hours and 4 minutes from Orlando, Florida to reach Amsterdam. Delta A330, sadly. No reversers. Little wheelie though. Donald and Daisy are also doing their morning cardio, having been inspired by Chris and Curtis. They are always active in the early morning. And meanwhile, our next airplane, the first next airplane to arrive is Delta Airlines Flight 74, A350-900, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. 7 hours and 30 minutes underway according to flight radar. The airplane is 4 years old. First flight was in October 2019. The airplane behind it is KLM Flight 696, arriving from Toronto, Canada, A330-200. And there are 2 more A330s coming. One arriving from Detroit, Michigan, Delta Airlines Flight 136, now flying base, and behind it KLM Flight 787, which is an A330-200. Arriving from Port of Spain. Chris and Curtis are also now saying good morning to you all. Not sure if you guys can pick it up because of the directionality of the microphone. Die Jol, goedemorgen. Craig, good morning. Carola, goedemorgen. Ton, goedemorgen kerel. Good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. Robert, good morning. Throat's not still not completely back to what it used to be. As you guys can hear, sometimes I still have an itch in my throat. It is orders of magnitude better than it was a couple of weeks ago, luckily. Robert says the compression on your digital zoom is amazing. The 2 Deltas looked almost as though they were on finals before they established. Yeah, it's a good camera. I have to say I'm happy with it. Also happy with the Sennheiser mic, but not with its susceptibility to wind rumble. A couple of weeks ago, when it was a rainy Monday, I did go to that one audio store that sound guy from that film crew, the first film crew, advised me to go to. Unfortunately, all the options to use in terms of with respect to blimps for the Sennheiser are very large susceptible to the wind. So I'm still looking for something else. Well, they did suggest a different solution, a smaller microphone, which is at least as good as the Sennheiser, plus a smaller blimp. The combined cost would be over €1,000. So I said, well, let's just see how the rest of the year is going to go. Maybe when storm season in fall begins again, let's reconsider, see what the status quo is around then. Anyway, Delta Airlines Flight 136 up next. A330-300 arriving from Detroit, Michigan. 7 hours 20 minutes underway. 21 years old already. First flight January 2003. Behind it KLM Flight 787, Airbus A330-200 returning from Port of Spain. I see Mr. Master also in the chat. Good morning, Rick. Goedemorgen. Lux bro, good evening, mate. Good to see you again. And somebody opened the door. Newcastle is calling. Morning, Michael. Hope you're well. Welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is Polderbaan, aka runway 18 right. At the moment, the only runway being used for arrivals. The other two north-south oriented runways are being used for departures. Gary the Grebe is also active. He will be diving under, yeah, as he always does whenever he senses a camera is pointed towards him. So Donald and Daisy are there, Chris and Curtis are there, Gary is here. We're missing the Seagulls and the Crow crew. But that it's still early, so right, KLM Flight 787 up next, arriving from Port of Spain. A330-200, 8 hours and 38 minutes underway. 17-year-old airplane, first flight November 2006. And Rick, no, I haven't. I've been very busy yesterday. Did I miss something in particular? More horses on the loose? South. These runways are oriented north-south, so the pilots are facing headwind today, mostly. If we have a moment, I will do an update of the weather, the METAR. This is what it looks like on the scale of chimney smoke. The current wind was 14 knots earlier. Thinking it might slow down a little bit, might have slowed down already. It was said that the wind was going to die down a little as the day progressed. Ah, lots of go around. Oh, Storm Nelson, of course, yes. That might also explain why it was a little bit more windy than I had thought it would be over here yesterday. Howdy Mout, goedemorgen. Mark, tuning in from Bedfordshire, good morning. All other viewers, good morning. This is KLM Flight 749, arriving from Cartagena in Colombia. 787-10 Dreamliner, 9 hours and 22 minutes underway. This airplane 3 years old, first flight December 2020. Storm Nelson, yet another storm. We've had a lot this last season, haven't we? How many have we had? 10 or so? Again, already, I think in the beginning of November. I think the folks in the UK have had a few more even than we did in the Netherlands. En ja, Jelle, I do speak Dutch. I can speak Dutch. Ik kan gewoon Nederlands praten, but I am not going to. Hey, cheers Roadhog. Gifted a membership. Jimmy Pirate. Congratulations, Jimmy. The recipient of the gifted membership of Roadhog. Roadhog, thank you so much for your generosity. Jimmy now also being able to use the custom emojis. Congratulations there, Jimmy. John is asking, any quad squad inbound this morning? There certainly are. Let me see if I have a few moments to show you. Well, let's see. Still back-to-back traffic over here. Probably a bit more separation after this heavy, so let me see if I can quickly show you after this landing. This is American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philadelphia. 6 hours and 34 minutes on the way. Boeing 7878 Dreamliner. Alrighty, the next airplane is coming in. Let me do a quick briefing. In terms of the weather, let's do a refresh of the METAR. Wind is still on average coming from the south. Wind speed 13 knots, 1 knot less than at the beginning. 4/4, 16, a few clouds at 1600 feet. Visibility is 10 plus kilometers. The air temperature has increased to 10 degrees Celsius at the moment. That is around 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Runway usage now updated. We are standing over here. At the moment, this is the only runway being used for arrivals and parallel departures from the other north-south oriented runways. Quad squad. Well, SLM is no longer a member of the quad squad. It is an A330 now, expected around 11:30. The Orange Pride is taking off to Johannesburg soon, and we have two 747s, one in Dutch airspace already and one about to enter Dutch airspace. We'll be seeing that first. Transavia is coming in from Ljubljana, and just west of Budapest we have Silkway West Airlines 747-400 arriving from Baku. And lastly, the Emirates A388 arriving from Dubai today, expected a couple of minutes past 12:30. So that is what is coming in today. A320 Neo just landed from EasyJet in the meantime. Let me also update the ticker for you guys with the latest weather. For those of you who are unfamiliar with what it all means, let me also take you through that. So the METAR is the weather, and that's updated twice an hour, 5 minutes past before the hour and 25 minutes past the hour. So this update is from 29, so that is today, 8:55 Zulu, means 9:55 Central European time, so that is almost half an hour ago. It will be updated in a couple of minutes again. Wind blowing from 180 degrees, 13 knots, varying between 150 degrees and 210 degrees. Visibility is 10 plus kilometers, that's the 4 nines. Few 016 means few clouds at 1600 feet. The air temperature is 10 degrees Celsius. The dew point is 6 degrees Celsius. QNH is the air pressure in hectopascals, 991. And no sig means no significant changes in the upcoming 2 hours. Right, quickly back to the camera. Here we go. Croatia Airlines Flight 450 arriving from Zagreb. in the Star Alliance livery. A320, 1 hour and 48 minutes on the way, 20 years old, first flight February 2004. Shut to boots. Now, massive big thank you to Daniel Doesn't Lift. Man, why don't you lift? Going to the gym is very nice. Thank you so much for 5 new members courtesy of Daniel. If you are one of the recipients, don't forget to say thank you to Daniel. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those new members, and a big thank you for your generosity. Daniel Doesn't Lift. Although I am curious why you don't lift. But different strokes for different folks. In case you didn't know, I am a gym bro. I have been for a couple of decades now, so boy does lift, so to speak. This is KLM flight 1352, Embraer 175, arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic. A no reverser landing, the slots are closed. Air Baltic taking off, passing us by. Standard livery, quiet as a mouse. Two more airplanes on the Glideslope. In the foreground we have KLM flight 1710, Embraer 190, arriving from Porto in Portugal. 2 hours and 3 minutes on their way, 15 years old, first flight November 2008. Now, also a big thank you to Mate in Australia for a very generous super chat just now. Just because I'm half drunk and had a great Japanese meal, mate. Don't be drunk super chatting, mate. Don't do things you'll regret the next day. What did you have for dinner? Japanese food, always good. Not always vegetarian, sadly. Or hardly ever. That is a bit of a pity for me. Thank you so much, Made in Australia, for a very generous super chat. I hope you won't regret super chatting that. Yes, that super chat tomorrow. Ready. We've got a 737-900 up next, arriving from Geneva, and after that it is back to another heavy. A flying AMS Live logo already in the background, arriving from Panama City, KLM flight 758. And in the foreground we have KLM flight 1926 arriving from Geneva, 737-900. HPXT, 19 years old, first flight April 2004. And looky here, the sun is about to shine. Lovely lighting, by the way. Clouds being illuminated by the sun. The Dreamliner 2, KLM flight 758, arriving from Panama City, 787-10 Dreamliner, 9 hours and 35 minutes underway. PHBKL, 1 year old, first flight June 2022. And there's a 737 outbound to Oslo, passing us by. You might also hear that on the mic. Alrighty, up next, KLM flight 1228. Arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. And there is a captain coming in flying Qatar 273 today, Austrian Wolf says. And Marissa says estimated 111. Okay. Well, don't know if I'm still around then. Usually traffic here dies down immediately after the A380 has landed, so let's see. Next up, after this airplane, the A320neo from Play, arriving from Reykjavik, which we should be able to see somewhere over there. It is a bit smaller than A330s or other big birds. Did you see it? Yeah. Ah, okay. Yeah. We'll see it soon enough. The A330 stood out a bit more. Right, one of the many flights between Amsterdam and Paris. We're about to see a few more probably later in the stream. And the heavy taking off from center, that is a KLM triple to Quito, 777-200. And there is the next airplane, is the Play A320 Neo flight 460. Looking, should also be a Cessna Citation. What altitude is it flying at? 9,000 feet. Yeah, not going to see that. That is too high. Let's see, we should see an EasyJet A319 arrive in the background from the left any moment now, arriving from Manchester. According to Flight Radar, it is flying towards the Glideslope. I am not sure if we are going to see it. Well, we should see it together. Oh yeah. Huh? Oh no. Huh? That's the first Queen. Where is the A319? Oh, there it is. There we go. Nice combo shot. 3 airplane Glideslope shot. Play A320 Neo in the foreground. Squeezing in between is EasyJet A319 arriving from Manchester, and the number 3 is Saudia arriving from Jeddah. And Donald just made a flyby here, circling around the tower, now going to the north. Another ballet in the sky. The lowest airplane is the furthest. Now, don't know about you guys, but in my mind, ever since somebody coined this, the term red alert, in my head I am playing Basement Jacks. Red alert, it's a catastrophe. But don't worry, don't panic. Hey, Paul also in the chat. Good morning, mate. Good to see you again. What's the weather like in Yorkshire right now? Are you guys having similar weather to us, or? Anyway, this is playtime. A320 Neo arriving from Reykjavik, flight 460. And a nice playtime butt shot combo. Here we go. Let's see through those see-through engines, if we can. Nah. Hard to see through. Right, well, sandwiched in between the Play and the Queen is an A319 EasyJet arriving from Manchester. I think I'm going to forgo the landing, just keep this view. Now behind the Saudia 747 we are seeing Turkish flight 1951. Arriving from Istanbul. The 747 is the first of, how many did I count? I believe 4. Saudia Cargo Flight 993 operated by Air Atlanta Europe, but it looks like a regular Saudia Cargo airplane judging the photo on flight radar. Now number 10 on flight radar, 188 people are following this airplane on flight radar. Oh, 232. Numbers are going up. It's arriving from Jeddah and has been flying for 5 hours and 55 minutes now. 555. 747-400. And this airplane is 29 years old, ladies and gentlemen. It began flying for the first time in December 1994. First year of middle school is where I was at back then, brugklas. Hopefully she's heavy, hopefully she'll reverse, and let's look and listen. Bit of a disappointment in the audio department, but visually, very nice landing. Big thank you to John, who just now gifted the membership. Shamara is the recipient. Welcome to the Aurora Skyline, Shamara, and thank you so much once again for your generosity, John. Shamara, be sure to use the custom emojis that are now at your disposal. Right, the flaps have retracted. Let's quickly turn back. Oh, Harry the Heron doing a flyby below the radar. Sneaky mother ducker. It's been a while since we last saw him. Good to see he's still in good shape. Anyway, infamous flight number, although the infamous flight, I thought it was with an A330, but it took place with a 737. Saw a clip about it on YouTube the other day. So that was wrongly imprinted in my memory. Turkish flight 1951 arriving from Istanbul. Rick has to go. I will be seeing you on the next one, Rick. Take care. Have a good Friday. Now, word of warning, this weekend Europe will be transitioning to daylight savings time, so in the night from Saturday to Sunday we will turn the clock ahead an hour, which might result in the regular time of streaming change for you, depending on where you are at in the world. Our next airplane is dark blue and is a very nice shade. ITA Airways Flight 120, arriving from Milan. 1 hour and 25 minutes on the way. Elisa, I did see your painting. Thank you for tagging me in it. I think it looked very much like the real thing. Very talented. Very nice. I do personally prefer the gradient color transition more than the tricolor swoosh that it now has, but that's that's besides the point of how well you painted that painting. It was really nice, beautiful. How big is the canvas? Not sure if it was mentioned, but Right, got interrupted here by a tractor with an appendix. Sprayer appendix. Hey there Norbert. Goedemorgen, good morning, happy Easter. Ciao Bella, indeed Han. And there is a CRJ taking off again, but well, as you guys can see, we do have a bit of cirrus clouds over here now. A few low clouds as well. This is the south, southeast, east, southeast, and northeast was the, this is south. Now you guys are getting confused. This is south, southeast, east, northeast, north. Daarom 737-700, flying from Bucharest to Amsterdam, touching down after 2 hours and 45 minutes. Flight 361, 20 years old this one, first flight November 2003. Stubby fuselage and a one-size-fits-all tail. I wonder which of the two has the highest tail in relation to the fuselage length, the A380 or the 737-700. If you compare that, for instance, with the height of the tail of a 777-300ER, really tiny in comparison. 40 times 50 centimeters. Quite a sizable painting. Right, time for Queen number 2. Again, number 10 on flight radar, 284 people tracking it. It is Cathay Pacific Cargo, flight 2067. Now number 8, 352 people watching. Arriving from Dubai. 7478, 7 hours and 27 minutes on the way. That's remarkable because the A380 normally, well, it does depart from the other Dubai airport, but they're not that far apart. The A380 usually has 6.5 hours on the clock at this stage. So this is an hour more. Interesting. I know. I heard my eardrums make some noises that they probably shouldn't be making. Now, a big thank you to Hamed, who just became a member. Thank you so much for choosing AMS Live, Hamed. Welcome to the club. Hope you'll like it here. Be sure to use the custom emojis that are now at your disposal. And also a big thank you to Roadhog, who just now gifted the membership. I see that Ghosty ZXXX was gifted the membership. Don't forget to say thank you to Roadhog if you haven't already. And thank you so much, Roadhog, for your generosity. Sorry? Wat? De Orange Pride. Is dat die in de lucht of? Daar. Naast de toren. Oh, die is nu aan het opstijgen, bedoel je? No, this is a Delta A330. Is die al opgestegen of nog niet?
Hij vliegt nu in de rond.
Ah, oké. The Orange Pride. Well. Anyway, up next, the flight that went around earlier in the week. Pegasus flight 1251, arriving from Istanbul, A321neo. 3 hours and 26 minutes on the way. Also a bit of headwind apparently en route. The airplane a year old, first flight May 2022. The airplane behind it that you can already see on the Glideslope is an A319 from EasyJet, arriving from Edinburgh. And also a big thank you to John, who just now gifted another membership. I see that Matthijs is the recipient. If you haven't already, don't forget to say thank you to John. Matthijs, John, thank you so much for your generosity. And welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge to Matthijs.
Hello again, boys.
Hey, good morning, guys. Morning. Did you see the 747s just now?
Yes, yes.
Did you also...
We've been here since 8 o'clock this morning.
Oh, where were you?
Yeah, down in...
Oh, over there, more to the north.
Yeah.
Excellent. And still working eardrums after that Cathay Pacific. It was a loud one. Yeah, absolutely. Leaving already?
Yeah,
Well, yeah. I know what you mean. I have a hand warmer in my right hand because I have to use the fingertips to operate the panhandle. This is a heated glove. Absolutely a necessity still. People look at the air temperature and think, oh well, it's doable, but you're standing out in an open field, as you guys have experienced. It's always blowing, it's constantly. Wind chill is real, which is also why I'm still wearing rain trousers. Not so much to protect me from rain, but just as an additional layer against the wind. Absolutely.
hopefully it will be nice, better weather is coming.
But have you arrived by car again?
Yes.
Why not sit in the car, park your car right in front of the gate at the parking place, then you can still watch the airplanes and...
Over there,
Yeah? Or have you parked elsewhere?
he wants to take shots
At the threshold. You can also drive there and park over there. Did you know?
Oh, okay.
It's a bit busy streaming, but open up Google Maps if you will. Let me show you how to drive. Because you can also drive along the road over here, go to the threshold. Over there in the distance there are some companies and if you're lucky, there is a parking place there, and you can walk back over the cycling path right to the very threshold. You can stand under the lights. Yeah.
But then you cannot stop.
It's not allowed. People do it, but it is at the risk of getting fined. Well, but then you probably also took this road, because it's the road. Because to get over here on the other side, you need to be on that road that I was referring to, and then there's a parallel road that you can take. And there are parking places. Donzelli and his father, who have come over for the week from Denmark, have also arrived. I'm not just telling Donzelli's father how he can drive, where he can park his car, if there's a parking place, so that he can spot from the runway threshold, the northern threshold of the Polderaan. Now, first up is going to be a 777-300ER from KLM, flight 598, arriving from Cape Town, South Africa. 11 hours and 5 minutes underway. The PHBVS, 7 years old, first flight February 2017. But you guys probably already drove past it to get to the other side of the runway. There's a main road, but there's also a little road that you can go into, which is parallel to it, and it has parking places. Now, they are often used for people who work at the companies that are located over there, but it's worth driving past it to see if you can maybe park, and then you can walk back over the cycling path, and then it's like a 5-minute walk, and you'll be standing under those approach lights, which is perfect for making pictures. Right, let me quickly show you. So you are probably parked at the parking place right here.
Yes.
So if you drive back there and they take the road there to the traffic lights, that is like this, and this is indeed. So if you go over here at the crossing where you can also go onto the A9 highway, if you take the right turn, you go to the N232.
Yeah.
That's the road that is going over there, exactly.
Yes.
And here you have the crossing to go.
That one. Yeah.
Exactly. But if you go, if you look, can you put it into satellite footage? Because then you can see. So if you take the right hand turn over there and go straight on the roundabout, you'll be on the Schipholweg.
Yeah.
And here there's a little entrance that leads to this road that is parallel to it. You see all those companies over there?
Yes.
That is immediately behind the main road. And if you take the left hand turn over here, over here there are parking places. You can only park in the indicated zones, because otherwise you will be blocking entrances to the areas where the companies are. But if you're lucky, you can get a spot there to park, and then you can walk back over the cycling path right to the approach lights, and you'll be standing right under the airplanes as they land. I have been there, yeah. I think my second ever live stream I did there in twilight. Not the best location to be standing, because there's wake turbulence, so your camera gets blown over when the heavies have just passed, but it is very nice. My idea is having a look at. It's sure no problem. Take a chance, right? Well, that was KLM Flight 652 that has just landed, an A330-200 arriving from Washington. Now back to what is coming in KLM flight 636 arriving from Las Vegas. 7879 Dreamliner. 9 hours and 13 minutes on the way. The PHBHI. 7 years old. First flight September 2016. And thank you for your continued support, Jennifer, celebrating 3 months of membership. Whoop whoop, a quarter year already. Thank you so much for your continued support, and I hope you still like it in the lounge, Jennifer. If something isn't to your liking, do let me know. See if I can fix it maybe. KLM flight 636, arriving from Las Vegas. 7-year-old airplane, first flight September 2016. Was that? they accidentally pulled the reverser lever and didn't let go. Somebody's going to get fired. That's not supposed to be so loud. There you go. So it's not just an accessory, it is a true functioning thing on the Dreamliners of KLM, the reverser. Now also a big thank you to JD, who just now gifted 5 memberships. JD, thank you so much for your support. If you are one of the recipients, don't forget to say thank you to JD. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. 5 new members, courtesy of JD. Dankeschön, Herr JD. And don't forget to say thank you. Guys, you are leaving?
Yes.
Okay, well, cheers for dropping by again. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes.
Maybe until tomorrow?
We don't know.
Maybe. Well, I also don't know yet. Depends on the weather. I think the weather has updated, and I believe that now Saturday and Sunday are reasonably okay. Now it's Monday that is going to be the rainy day, or at least that's what the weather said yesterday. Changes by the day, so always have to check in. Would be nice to see you again. If not, enjoy the rest of your stay. Absolutely, do drop by next time you are in the Netherlands. If this is the last time we'll see each other during your current stay. If I ever have plans to visit Denmark, I'll let you guys know in the chat, and let's see if we can meet up. That would be terrific. In Copenhagen. Well, okay, if I ever go to Copenhagen, I will let you guys know. Looking forward to it. Okay, enjoy the rest of your stay. Bye bye. Now, in the meantime, I also saw parallel arrivals have begun. Need to update the ticker. Iberia Express arriving from Madrid was the airplane that arrived just now. While we are at it, let's also have a quick look at what is coming in. Zooming in, we see that the Surinam now A330 is about to cross the North Sea, so that is expected within the hour. Transavia arriving from Ljubljana, the first A321. The Silkway West is now in German airspace and expected in an hour from now. The A380 is in the vicinity of Budapest, expected around 12:41. The weather, quick look, still wind from the south. Wind speed is 14 knots, so that hasn't changed. Few clouds at 1800 feet. The air temperature 11 degrees Celsius, roughly 52 degrees Fahrenheit. And yes, now parallel arrivals, sadly. Let me update the ticker just quick, and let me also take you through the METAR if you don't know what all those numbers and letters mean. It's very informative if you know how to read METARs. Oh, that was pressing OK too soon. Still had to update the runway usage, but I pressed enter instead accidentally. Arrivals 18C as well. There we go. Righty. The METAR for EHAM, that is Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. It is a report from the 29th, 9:55 Zulu time, so that is less than 10 minutes ago. That's 10:55 Central European time. The wind, 14 knots from 190 degrees, varying between 150 degrees and 220 degrees. Visibility is 9999, meaning 10 kilometers or more. Few clouds at 1800 feet. The air temperature is 11 degrees Celsius, roughly 52 degrees Fahrenheit. The dew point is 7 degrees Celsius. QNH is the barometric air pressure, 991 hectopascals, and no SIG means no significant changes expected in the upcoming 2 hours. Our next airplane is about to land. It is United Flight 909, arriving from Chicago O'Hare. 7878 Dreamliner. 7 hours and 9 minutes ago it departed from Chicago, now touching down here in Amsterdam. Not using the reverser, and KLM just now did. What a day to be alive. The airplane 10 years old, first flight February 2014. The next up is going to be KLM Flight 1002. Big picture wise, this is what it looks like to the south. There are more clouds now than there were earlier. Southeast, east, northeast, more blue north of us. Rick Meester once again in luck, living in the north of the country, northwest and the west. Visibility of the Glideslope, luckily still perfectly fine. In fact, with the cloudy backdrop, very nice to look at. In the foreground we have KLM Flight 1002 arriving from London Heathrow. In the background we have an Embraer 175 from KLM arriving from Norwich, Flight 1516. Even though the central runway is now open for arrivals, it's not very busy just yet. Looks like there's an E2 Embraer flying parallel with the the Embraer 175 that is returning from Oslo. Helicopter kestrel in the center of the field of view. Mickey Mouse Air Transportation taxi company. If you wonder why I'm calling it like that, a couple of weeks ago we saw it capture a mouse and fly off with it in its talons, so Jackie is asking if Evelyn al een beetje bijgekomen is. She's giving a thumbs up, so she's back in the land of the living. After a substantial bike ride with not exactly wind-still conditions. Right, so this is KLM Flight 1516 we're now looking at. Embraer 175 arriving from Norwich. nothing in the immediate distance. Oh! High speed flyby of Donald and Daisy there. Nice bit of formation flying that they were practicing. Always never lose track of your wingman. E2 Embraer flying to runway center parallel to this Embraer 175. Hey. Floaty. And there's the E2 Embraer going to the center runway. KLM flight 1142. Right. Telescope mode disabled. Up next, KLM flight 1050. It is a German Airways Embraer 190, one of the rentals arriving from Bristol. 51 minutes on the way. Embraer 190 long range, 19 years old, first flight 17 years old, first flight January 2007. Flying parallel to it, to the center runway, is another Embraer 190 flying for KLM, arriving from Stuttgart. Might also be a German, no, it's blue. A true KLM airplane. Alrighty. It's going to take a few minutes before the next airplane to pull the baan is approaching, but it is turning onto the Glideslope already. A Dreamliner from TUI. Not sure if we can see it. I hope we might. I think we can. Yes, there it is. In the vicinity of Uitgeest, coming this way. In the meantime, a couple of airplanes are approaching the center runway, narrow bodies. The next airplane to arrive over there is, let's see, the Embraer 175 arriving from Stavanger. Since it's going to take a few more minutes before the TUI Dreamliner is really in the vicinity, let's have a look at the traffic going to the center runway. This is KLM flight 1198, Embraer 175, returning from Stavanger, where this airplane left from 1 hour and 11 minutes ago. PHEXL, 7 years old. First flight January 2017. Hey there, Jin Cathay spotter. Good morning, man. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Air France Embraer 170. Arriving from Lyon, up next to center. Air France up or regular Air France? Regular Air France. Air France flight 1794, arriving from Lyon. 1 hour and 13 minutes underway. 15 years old, first flight September 2008. And a Greek Ethiopian A320neo arriving from Athens behind it. Oh, it is Air France up, just the hop is very subtle on this one. United Dreamliner. Anyway, the Aegean we are going to let go because in the meantime the TUI Dreamliner has come close by. So let's have a look at it. TUI flight 361 7878 Dreamliner arriving from Oranjestad in Aruba, the A in the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, Curaçao. 3 islands just off the coast of Venezuela in the Caribbean Sea. Takes this airplane 8 hours and 48 minutes to get here, at least on this flight today. And the airplane is 9 years old. First flight January 2015. Right. Now the gap between airplanes, giving us time to have a look at this Transavia airplane, which was the previous standard livery, predecessor of the current standard livery, a bit more colorful. It's a 737-700 that has been rented out to KLM. So this is actually a KLM flight that you are watching, being flown in a Transavia 737, returning from Cape Town, not exactly Cape Town, Copenhagen, KLM flight 1126, an hour and 5 minutes on the way. Now, still looks best to the north in the sky at the moment. Bits of blue and nice colorful clouds. Nice backdrop to be seeing the Glideslope against. In the foreground we have KLM flight 1422, another flight arriving from Birmingham, 737-800, 42 minutes underway. The airplane in the background, that is coming from the B of the ABC Islands, Bonaire. KLM flight 765, a countdown flight number, Airbus A330-300. First, this little airplane arriving from Birmingham. Or was it Bristol? No, Birmingham. This is what you call a KLM style landing, keeping up the speed. See if they can vacate late. Sooner. If you're unfamiliar with the layout of Schiphol Airport, this is the latest addition. This runway has its dedicated tower over there, dedicated fire station adjacent to it. Airplanes landing here still have the taxi along the line of trees, as you guys can see the Dreamliner from TUI doing right now, to end up at the main platform area where the terminal building is and the main tower is at. So that is, zooming out, as you can see, considerable distance from here. Airplanes landing on this runway usually have at least 10 minutes of taxi ahead of them before they are at the gate. This is KLM flight 765 arriving from Bonaire, A330-300, 9 hours precisely on the clock according to flight radar. 12-year-old airplane, first flight March 2012. Little sparkle of light in the distance would be KLM flight 916 and Emirates 175 arriving from Southampton. Embraers landing parallel. KLM flight 1792 arriving from Munich. It's narrow body rush hour at the moment. Two airplanes visible on the Glideslope to Polderbaan. In the foreground, KLM flight 916, Embraer 175 arriving from Southampton. In the background, we have KLM flight 934 arriving from Dublin, Ireland. I think that might also be a rental from... No, that is a regular KLM. KLM also has one of the current Transavia standard liveries as a rental. Was wondering if it might be it, but it isn't. Looks like the Transavia A321 Neo, the first one, is also coming pretty soon, although it is arriving from the east, so probably will be landing on the center runway. was said that the wind was going to slow down later in the day. It doesn't feel like it's still. We've been having a 14 knot wind all morning now so far. From the south, so no crabbing sadly, unlike yesterday. Just headwind. Now, after the 737 from KLM arriving from Dublin, we'll see the A330 from Maleth-Aero that is now flying for SLM, arriving from Paramaribo. Channel premiere for us. And that was the bicycle of Evelyn tipping over. All because of the wind. KLM flight 934 up first, 737-800, 1 hour and 6 minutes underway. Returning from Dublin, Ireland, 5 years old, first flight March 2019. Right, it's the successor of the SLM A340, Maleth-Aero A330-200, tracked by 236 people right now, number 10 on flight radar, 8 hours and 33 minutes underway from Paramaribo in Surinam to the Netherlands. The airplane is 18 years old, its first flight was in October 2005. And the cat, thank you so much for your membership celebration. My first name is different though, but that's okay. Thank you so much for your support, the cat. Hope you still like it in the lounge. If something isn't to your liking, do let me know. And indeed, Paul, the A340 clip was featured. The guy or girl behind the channel also asked permission to use the go around of the Pegasus A321neo, so expect that being featured in one of the upcoming videos soon. Well, another boring A330. Let's hope at least they'll make good on the boringness of the airplane by compensating with the reverser. The A340 at least used to use the reversers. Alrighty, up next, Embraer 175, KLM flight 1442. arriving from Aberdeen. The airplane behind it is an Embraer 190 arriving from Glasgow, one of the German Airways rentals. Flying parallel to the Embraer 175 that is coming this way is the Transavia A321neo, the first one. Arriving from Ljubljana in Slovenia. Apologies, Slovenia. Marja has to go. Thank you for joining, Marja. Sleep tight. I hope to see you on the next one. We saw it yesterday as well, and we saw the delivery of its younger sibling. It's the A321neo. This one arriving from Ljubljana. Oh, wrong label. Try again. There we go. Transavia flight 6820, A321neo, underway from Ljubljana in Slovenia. 1 hour and 39 minutes underway. Brand new airplane, meaning less than a year old, and that is true. This airplane got delivered last November. Next up, arriving from Glasgow in Scotland, KLM flight 1472, Embraer 190, German Airways rental, 1 hour and 9 minutes underway, 16 years old this one, first flight January 2008. Control vehicle K2 over there. One of the Ford Ranger Raptors. And up next is JetBlue's A321neo arriving from Boston, Massachusetts. And thank you for your continued support, QJ, who celebrates 5 months of membership and writes, I hope to see the Quetzalcoatl in one of the streams. Me too, mate, me too. It's a very lovely airplane, one of my favorites. We've seen it twice or thrice now, I believe. So it is overdue, isn't it? Thank you so much for your continued support, QJ, and I'll keep my fingers crossed that we'll see the Quetzalcoatl soon. butt shot, and let's see through those see-through engines. Next up is, I believe, the first E2 that we are going to see land over here on the Polderbaan. KLM Flight 958, arrival from Newcastle. 59 minutes underway. Also a big thank you to Roadhog, who just now gifted a membership. See that Ron Streams was the recipient of that membership. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, and once again thank you Roadhog for gifting a membership. This E2 Embraer, 2 years old, first flight October 2021. Now I have to say, let's do a rerun. Okay, no problem. We have another E2 coming this way, arriving from Edinburgh, KLM Flight 1278, 1 hour and 8 minutes on the way. It's another 2-year-old airplane, first flight October 2021. And also once again a big thank you to JD for yet another 5 gifted memberships. I mean, that is more than enough for today, mate. You've been gifting memberships all day now, and each time you're here as well. More than enough generosity. If you are one of the recipients, don't forget to say Dankeschön, JD. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge as new members. Be sure to use the custom emojis. They're there for a reason. JD, once again, thank you, and welcome to all new members to the Aurora Sky Lounge. No reverse landing. The slots remain closed. Still parallel arrivals in progress. Not sure where the heavies are at. We have a few minutes before the next airplane gets really close. The A319 from EasyJet arriving from London Gatwick. Let's have a quick look at the map, shall we? So Surinam has already landed, and our next quad squad member is approaching Dutch airspace. Now it's 11:37. Usually around 11:40 they change runway usage, so I'm hoping that by the time it enters Dutch airspace, it's just the Polderbaan open for arrivals, so that we can see it land over here and not in the distance. Same of course goes for the Emirates A380 in the vicinity of Pilsen. Now I'm on a diet today, so this is as of this week, so no pills for me the upcoming weeks. But it is also approaching 12:40 p.m. local time, expected time of arrival. Let's hope it's going to land on Polderbaan. Yesterday we got unlucky, but I do believe it was a bit later then. Meanwhile, our next airplane to arrive is EasyJet Flight 28679. Flight time 45 minutes, returning from London Gatwick. 15 years old, this one. First flight June 2008. Well, thank you for your kind words, JD, but it is not just today. You've been gifting memberships for so long now, so many gifted memberships already. It's always the same people that are gifting memberships, I get the feeling. At least be sure that you can miss it. anybody doing anything irresponsibly financially, such as super chatting half drunk. Our friendly neighborhood police is also coming by. Not sure if our member Rudolf is on patrol today. Usually when he is, he uses the what's the word? The speaker. And already beforehand he says, "Hey there boy, good morning." Qatar flight 275 in the One World livery. It was not Rudolf, but two of his co-workers. Qatar flight 275, arriving from Doha, One World livery, 777-300 6 hours and 30 minutes on the way. The airplane is 16 years old, first flight December 2007. Of course I'm going to blame you if I run bankrupt, mate, JD says. Well, you have to come over in person to reclaim your money then. Alrighty, well, nice livery. Silver lining of airplanes landing on 18C is that we can get a good look at it from the side, but that is the only upshot. Big picture wise, mixed bag. This is looking to the east. Over here we still have a bit of blue, but this is the southeast. It looks a bit more dark. This is looking land inward. This is looking to JD in Düsseldorf approximately. This is looking to the south, where you can see there's a gaping gap with cirrus clouds visible higher up. Is that rain falling? It doesn't look like it, just shade. This is also the direction of the wind. We're now pointing the camera to the south. This is the southwest. Normally when you point the camera more towards sea, it looks a bit better. Usually overseas it is more blue, and if you point the camera to the west, that is exactly what you see. My guess is that if you go to Keukenhof now, you will probably be walking in the sunshine. Keukenhof in my hometown of Lisse has opened. It's now Friday, so yesterday, a week ago, until somewhere in May. Acutely more busy in the neighborhood with tour buses. And that is very good news, Tom, who is saying that Silkway 747 has been assigned to the Polderbaan, so that is good news. So that means that center will close indeed after a couple of minutes. Johan, goedemorgen. Michelle, tuning in from Qatar, good morning. Alan, good morning. Running Games, good morning. All other viewers, good morning. Yes, it is still morning. Right. Another little treat from Icelandair. We've seen all of their special livery 757s recently. And now it is time to see the 767 again. Icelandair Flight 500 is what is coming up next. 2 hours and 40 minutes underway. 767-300ER. 26 years old, a true millennial. Began flying in October 1997. Also a big airplane behind it. That is a 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Rio de Janeiro, KLM Flight 706. Bit longer on the way than the 767, 10 hours and 18 minutes as we speak. But first up, the, in my opinion, also nicer looking old livery of Icelandair, the Boeing 767-300ER. nice. Righty, up next, flying AMS Live logo, KLM flight 706, 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Rio de Janeiro. Now 10 hours and 19 minutes underway. The PHBHC, 8 years old, first flight October 2015. Sharifou, salut, tuning in from France. Right, that was a little sip of H2O. Put away the bottle back in the utility cart. There we go. Now it's always nice to see how those flaperons are used as part of the spoiler system when they air brake, and then when the spoilers get lowered you will see that the flaperon will also lower again and start being part of the flap configuration. Then again it is also part of the aileron system. So it serves a triple function. In that sense, the Dreamliner is unique. If you look at the 777, you will also see flaperons, but it has only dual use, namely part of the aileron system and part of the flap system. Where are all the airplanes? Pinch, pinch. Well, looks like we'll have to wait a few moments. Looks like the next airplane is an Embraer 190 arriving from the west, from Bristol, KLM flight 1046. Yeah, right. I think that is also going to mean that the center runway is going to close, because this airplane arriving from the east has been assigned to the Polderbaan. So we will see that soon enough. The Emirates A388 has now just entered into Dutch airspace. Let's do a refresh of the weather. Wow, more clouds as you guys can see. Also more text in the meter. Let me take you through it. Wind is blowing from the south, varying a little bit. And that is also indicated over here. So the wind speed is 14 knots from 190 degrees. That's the main direction, and here you have the speed. 160V220. That means that the wind is varying between 220 degrees and 160 degrees. 9999 means 10 plus kilometers of visibility. We have a ceiling, meaning that we cannot see higher up than 4,500 feet from over here. Also demarked by this green line over there. Few clouds at 1800 feet. We have scattered clouds at 2100 feet. We have broken clouds at 4500 feet, and that is also where the ceiling is located. The air temperature is 11 degrees Celsius. The dew point is 7 degrees Celsius. The air pressure is 991 hectopascals, and we don't expect significant changes in the upcoming 2 hours. We're standing over here, Polderbaan, approximately over here. The touchdown zone a bit further to the north. Yeah, the LVNL website always lags a little bit in terms of updating current runway usage. It will actually change to just 18 right, which is what I'm going to fill in the ticker already. Add 18C to the list of departure runways and also paste that meter into the ticker. so that you can read it back if you like. There we go. Right. Back up again. Sorry? Ik ben live, absoluut. AMS live. Daar kun je me nu vinden. Op YouTube, inderdaad. Ja. Ik heb geen idee.
Heel snel kan op YouTube. Ja, maar hij dan pas lopen.
Right, in the meantime, looking to the north, it has become more cloudy. They are still nicely illuminated, nice backdrop. KLM flight 1046, Embraer 190 arriving from Bristol, up first. It overshot a little and now has come back. We should also see, well, I'm not sure if we can see it in the same shot. Well, no, it is still far out, the Embraer 190 arriving from Bristol. There's also an Embraer 175 arriving from Luxembourg, KLM flight 1740, that will enter into the field of view from the left in a few moments, if flight radar is somewhat accurate. According to flight radar, it should be turning onto the Glideslope about now. Oh yeah, very tiny, very subtle, but there it is. No. There is a 777-300 ER arriving from Sao Paulo that is flying off the coast of The Hague. A bit more to the southwest of Schiphol Airport, if you look on flight radar. I think that is going to arrive before the 737 that is arriving from Izmir, from Sun Express. Not far behind the Sun Express 737 is the final queen of the day. So this is KLM flight 1046 arriving from Bristol, Embraer 190. Flight time 51 minutes. 14-year-old airplane, first flight October 2009. We'll wave back to the first officer. A little butt shot to boot. Hey there, Blackburst. Good morning, mate. Hope all is well. Cessna driver also back in the chat. Good morning, mate. Now, lovely coloration in the clouds further to the north. Unfortunately, they are obscuring visibility to the far north a little, I'm afraid. Not sure how quickly we will be able to pick up the 747 once it gets within visual range under clear conditions. For now, we'll have to wait a little. Another gap after this airplane has landed. This is KLM flight 1740, Embraer 175, arriving from Luxembourg, 44 minutes on their way. The PHEXO, 6 years old, first flight June 2017. Now, let's see, there's a Cessna Citation that is passing us by to the north. Nice livery, but what altitude is it flying at? 4,600 and descending. If it continues its descent, it should get below the ceiling. We might be able to see it. Saxon Air. It is like looking for a needle in a haystack. It should be over there somewhere already by the looks of it, judging flight radar. Right, well, our first next airplane to arrive is going to be an Embraer 190, KLM Flight 988, arriving from London City, now turning in the vicinity of Heemskerk. I'm not sure if we can still see it from over here. Let's fixate that tripod. Let me also crouch behind the laptop, see what you guys are seeing on a bigger screen. Absolutely nothing. That is so disappointing. Visibility was so much better in the beginning of the stream. Very tiny Embraer 190. Now I'm hearing a lot of noise from the center runway. Something heavy is taking off. Let's entertain ourselves with looking at that departure. Delta A330. Well, what a nice backdrop once again. Delta A330-300 outbound to New York JFK. We saw it take off, heard it first before we saw it. In the meantime, there it is, our first next airplane, an Embraer 190, and behind it we should... Hey, what is going on? 747 almost over the city of Amsterdam, which means that I might be able to see it. Looking right of me. What altitude is it flying at? Probably still high. 5,100 feet and descending. Yeah, that's above the ceiling. Shit. That's a pity. Because it is turning on the downwind leg really close by now, right of us. It should be visible somewhere over there. It's just I'm not seeing it. It's flying over Dam Square more or less. If it were perfectly blue skies, we should be able to see it from over here quite well. Really close by, relatively speaking. So that is a real shame. Now, the man who shouldn't be gifting memberships at all because he's always there ever since he became a moderator. Yorkshire Biker just now gifted 5 memberships. Paul, thank you so much. We really shouldn't have. If there's one moderator who has been clocking hours since he became a moderator, it is you, my friend. So thank you so much for everything. And those gifted memberships, you shouldn't have, you know that. Cheers nonetheless. If you are one of the recipients, don't forget to thank Paul for your gifted membership and be sure to use the custom emojis that are now at your disposal whenever you see fit. Paul, thank you so much. That is above and beyond, mate. Now Gary the Grebe was also here, making a little bit of a noise just now and diving under as soon as I even tried to look where he was at. This is KLM Flight 988 arriving from London City. Embraer 190, touching down after 40 minutes. That is average. London, Amsterdam, always around 40 to 45 minutes. Meanwhile, Gary and his cousin, well, they both were there. Maybe you just caught a glimpse of them. Mythical creatures, grebes. Some say they exist, others say, well, we only see a splash of water and then nothing. Well, took a little while, but here it is, a first next heavy. It is KLM Flight 792 arriving from Sao Paulo, 777-300 10 hours and 23 minutes underway. The PHBVR, 7 years old, first flight May 2016. Now, finally, improvement upon us. The wind is blowing from this direction more or less, which means that I think we are going to see a bit more sun finally, even though looking to the south still looks a bit grim, I have to say. Silver lining of living in the Netherlands, and we've seen it so many times before already in live streams. Standing here, you often have beautiful cloudy skies. It's not always the warmest of weather, it's not always the driest of weather, but those clouds. Anyway, Sun Express up next, arriving from Izmir, Turkey. 3 hours and 33 minutes underway, this one. Nicely lit by the sun. It's a 737-800. 19 years old. 747 approaching in the background, as you guys can see. First flight of this airplane was in December 2004. Now, another Embraer 190 arrival from London City. Up first, after that, an airplane that has the potential to get loud. Though lately it has been, the landings of this airplane have been disappointing. Aero Mexico Flight 25 arriving from Mexico City, the number 2. 7879 Dreamliner. And the Queen, Her Highness, is also turning onto the Glideslope. 3 airplane Glideslope shot. Nice combo. First up, KLM flight 986, arriving from London City. Embraer 190, 41 minutes on their way. 15-year-old airplane, first flight October 2008. Dreamliner being illuminated by the sun. 747 still flying in the shade. And Embraer 190 also in the shade. Though not anymore. For a moment I was thinking, is it Captain Wheelie? But the nose wheel dropped too soon. Now I hope that the pilots on the next 2 airplanes have been listening to Jennifer Lopez, Let's Get Loud, because sure as hell we want them to. Aero Mexico flight 25 up next. 7879 Dreamliner, arriving from Mexico City. 10 hours precisely on the way according to flight radar. An airplane that is 5 years old, had its first flight in March 2019. Let's look and listen. Me and Evelyn both head bobbing, yeah, saying yes. Finally, excellent, muy bueno. Well, no time to linger on it because our last queen is arriving. Silkway West Airlines arriving from Baku, flight 205, 5 hours and 19 minutes on the way. This is a 747-400 freighter that is 25 years old. Began flying for the first time in November 1998, so we have a true millennial. Finish the 747 part of the quad squad. The A380 of course also still expected. That is expected in half an hour or so from now. So if you don't have to be anywhere, definitely worth sticking around for. Also a massive big thank you to Han, who just now gifted 5 memberships, an Easter egg indeed. Thank you so much for that, Han, very kind of you. If you are one of the 5 recipients, don't forget to say thank you to Han. Han, thank you so much. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge for those 5 new members. Be sure to use the custom emojis. Really? Nice. Not the loudest, it has to be said. But they usually plunk that nose wheel down so rapidly that even this little really was nice to see. It's also sounding like another heavy taking off from the center runway. Do we... Righty. Up next, Hans' favorite airplane. Vueling, flight 8309, A320 arriving from Barcelona. Must have had tailwind. Just 1 hour and 37 minutes underway. The airplane is 10 years old, first flight April 2013. Lovely livery. Perfection in its imperfectness. Perfect with its imperfections. Also a big thank you to John, who just now gifted another membership, and I see that Moon Elmo was gifted the membership. If you haven't already, don't forget to say thank you to John. John, thank you so much for your kindness, and also welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, Moon. Right, let's see. KLM flight 1166 is up next. Embraer 190 arriving from Helsinki, Finland. 2 hours and 12 minutes underway. Also a bit of headwind, apparently. Normally Helsinki around 2 hours exactly. Just like how Dublin is an hour away. And Luxembourg and Paris and London are 40 to 45 minutes away. Athens and Istanbul 3 hours away from Amsterdam. On average, Dubai usually 6.5 hours. Jimmy Pirate has also arrived in the meantime. Hey man! And this is KLM flight 622. Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. 7.5 hours underway. The BHBKD, 4 years old. First flight November 2019. Off-road capability of the Ranger Raptor. Driving through the grass. And what is that? Privately owned Piper PA46 on its way to runway 22. Now, can we see a Piper 46 from over here, I wonder? Has to be flying somewhere over there. The Embraer Phenom 300 is already very minute and hard to see. I'm not sure. Shit, I have it. I do see it. The crane. There it is. Visibility is good. You really need to know where you need to look to see them. Like a needle in a haystack. Piper 46 going to runway 22. All the way over there. So that is quite a substantial distance away. Speck in the sky. Now this is much better to see. KLM flight 1546 arriving from Leeds. It is a German Airways rental Embraer 190. 49 minutes underway. Embraer 190 long range, 18 years old, first flight January 2006. And after this, an E2 Embraer arrival from Hamburg. It has sunglasses on, or it's going to rob a bank. Right, finally, more than one airplane on the Glideslope. E2 Embraer up first, up next, after that A320neo arriving from London Luton. Also a big thank you to Politiespotter NL for your super chat. And Politiespotter NL writes, "Hi AMS, how are you? What is your best spot?" I'm doing fine, thank you for asking. The best spot is where you can see a lot of traffic, so it varies. On days like today, this is probably the best spot to be at. If it is stormy and it is blowing from the west, standing at the crossing of runway 0927 and 18 left 36 right is probably my favorite spot. So it depends on the wind. If it is wind blowing from the north and departures take place from Polderbaan, I also like standing on the other side of the runway at the beginning where the airplanes are taxiing towards the Polderbaan from the main platform area. So it depends on the wind primarily what my favorite spot is. Obviously everything around Polderbaan is easily reachable by car. Runway 0624 also has a nice place at the threshold, but hard to reach, particularly during weekdays. Even though there's a vacant parking lot over there, it's not accessible for spotters or other people living in the vicinity, sadly. Up next, EasyJet A320neo arriving from London Luton. Next airplane behind it is A737 from KLM arriving from London Heathrow. Also a big thank you to Andrea for your super chat, and she writes, "Thanks boy and mods, great stream. I'm glad to hear that you are liking it." Thank you Andrea for your kind words and for your super chat. Now if you do like the stream but you haven't already, don't forget to drop a like. It really helps to spread this content to more aviation enthusiasts such as yourselves. Also, if you want to stay informed of upcoming live streams, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. If you're incurring any trouble with getting notified when you have notifications enabled, have a look in my community section. I posted a link there the other day to a troubleshooter from YouTube. Mark already tried it and said it helped solve his issues with not getting notifications. If it worked for him, it might also work for you. I'm also getting a notification from PayPal. Adrian, thank you so much for your donation. Very generous of you. I hope you are watching. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much, Adrian, for a very generous PayPal donation just now. Right. Accidentally opened the PayPal app when I saw the notification. Not sure if my chat window is now back in sync with the computer. This is a 737-800 arriving from London Heathrow. One of the many. Indeed, Mark confirming in the chat now, notifications work like a charm now, so if you are experiencing not receiving notifications sometimes from either AMS Live or other channels, have a look. The troubleshooter, this worked for Mark, so it might be a good chance that it also works for you if you are having any trouble with it. I'm also receiving a notification from Luke. Another PayPal donation, a very kind and generous donation. Thank you so much, Luke, for your PayPal donation. I hope you are watching and hearing me say thank you. Now, Marissa is giving us sad but not unexpected news. Namely that the Emirates A380 has been confirmed for runway 18C. Was to be expected. Han is also confirming that that troubleshooter from YouTube works. Happy to hear that, folks. So yeah, if anybody ever has any issues with notifications, have a look in the community section. I posted a link to a notification troubleshooter by YouTube, which apparently works. How about that? Right. Number 190 up next. Wind is not slowing down. On the scale of chimney smoke, this is what it looks like. Our next airplane is arriving from JD's hometown Düsseldorf, just across the border into Germany. KLM flight 1856, Embraer 190, flight time 31 minutes. The airplane is 13 years old. The first flight was in August 2010. Dat heb ik net teruggelezen, ja. Hey! Nice! May I show it to the audience? Let me set the zoom straight. If you like warm hoodies, maybe this is something for you. Jimmy Pirate wearing a nice black hoodie. And also say hi to Evelyn once again. The ground crew. It is a very warm hoodie. KLM flight 1856 this was. For a little butt shot. Austrian Wolf says hi. Tschüss zurück. Hey, thank you Epic for your kind words. Epic says, bro, I love your aviation content. Thank you so much. Really nice to hear that back, mate. Appreciate it. Doing the best I can. Next up, KLM flight 1486. Embraer 175 arriving from Humberside, 41 minutes underway. Narrow bodies by the looks of it. Two 737s following it. First one on the Glideslope already, the second one approaching from the west, from the left. Also a big thank you to Paul for your super sticker. Bear character turning around, waving his hand, saying hey you while lowering his glasses. Thank you so much for that, Paul, very much appreciated. And it's just not a way to say hi. Can you not say hi? Yeah. How about the true German word ciao? You can say that. You can say that for hi and bye, right? Now in English mode, not in German mode. Anyway, let's see. KLM flight 1598 up next, arriving from Rome, 737-800. 1 hour 55 minutes underway. PHBCK, 4 years old, first flight April 2019. Bounce. Right. Well, we'll keep it at Servus then. It's always exhausting after having streamed, even though I think I speak English reasonably okay. You do notice that being busy in a foreign language, multitasking, filming, looking in the chat, flight radar, interacting with people around you. Actually fatiguing. It is satisfying but fatiguing. This is a Transavia airplane arriving from Porto in Portugal. Transavia flight 688, 737-800, 2 hours precisely on the way. Now, if you like 737s, you're in luck. The next airplane is another one. What was that? No, wait, there. Is that Donald? Donald taking a nap. Anyway, I digress. This is KLM flight 1230 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle 737-800, 42 minutes underway, nominal flight time, PHBXZ, 16 years old, first flight 2008 February. And let's see, LATAM cargo is approaching in the north. Last time we were able to see the Dreamliner over there, so I'm wondering if we can also see LATAM cargo. The answer is probably. Landed safely, let's see. We have it. Oh, that is too much zoom. Where was it? There it is. Yes, that looks like LATAM cargo 767. Now over the beach, north of Beverwijk, substantial distance away. But yeah, visible with good visibility and if you know where you need to look. But as I said before, it is like finding a needle in a haystack, particularly with narrow bodies. Now this is KLM flight 982 up next, arriving from London City, Embraer 190, 40 minutes underway, PHEZP, 14 years old, first flight March 2010. And we have an EasyJet A380 in the far left, arriving from Belfast. There's also an outbound plane that you might pick up on the mic. It is above the clouds already, so we won't be able to see it. Second wave of the first officer. Now, that's not just because I'm standing here, because it is actually rather busy over here with more people that have gathered, and also on the north side of me you can also see more people, groups of people. Maybe people have their Easter weekend already. I don't know if the schools are open today, probably not. Given that Jimmy and Evelyn are here as well. People coming out to see the A380. Now sadly not going to this runway. Our first next airplane to arrive is arriving from Belfast in Northern Ireland. EasyJet flight 23051, 1 hour and 7 minutes underway. The airplane is 12 years old, first flight was in March 2012. LATAM 767 will be following immediately after this airplane has landed. Emirates now above Purmerend, Michael is telling us, so should be able to see it then. We'll film the landing of the 767 first. Just checking visually if I can see the A380 already. Against the cloudy backdrop, a bit hard to see still. let's focus first on the next airplane to Polderbaan. LATAM Cargo 767. In the meantime, also a big thank you to Karsten for your super sticker. Hippo character repeatedly points to the streamer while chanting, "Good God!" That's a nice one. Thank you so much for that, Karsten. Very much appreciated. Good God, indeed. Well, this is LATAM Cargo, flight 1505, arriving from Miami, Florida. 767-300ER, 8 hours and 22 minutes underway. It is 22 years old already. First flight was in October 2001. Started flying the month after 9/11. Emirates A388 is also approaching slowly but surely. Let's see, Aer Lingus is arriving. That is a standard livery, sadly. I thought I saw on the arrivals list yesterday evening that the newest rugby team livery was also coming, but don't recall anymore what time it was arriving. Nice airplane though. Right, up next, our Embraer 175 flight from Teesside or Darlington. The airplane behind it is Shamrock Aer Lingus flight 604, arriving from Dublin, Ireland. The A380 is flying base, should turn final somewhere further up north. Looking over my camera to see if I can see it visually already, but not yet. Not yet. Right, this is KLM flight 1534, Embraer 175, arriving from Teesside or Darlington, 53 minutes underway, now touching down. This airplane is 6 years old, first flight January 2018. Right, A380 is turning final. Still north of Wormerveer. Really not sure if we can see it already. So that is the next airplane to Polderbaan. Yes, there it is. Let's give it some additional digital zoom. We can see how the landing gear is extending. Of course, being so ridiculously zoomed in exacerbates the wind vibrations. Still are there despite image stabilizer and everything firmly secured to the ground. You have to bear in mind it is nearly 400 times digital zoom. This is the top end of optical zoom. This is being fully zoomed out, so it's not a shitty camera or a shitty tripod, but just a ridiculous amount of zoom. Dankeschön for 5 more gifted memberships, 5 new members courtesy of Wolfgang, aka Astrowolf. Again, above and beyond, mate. You're doing more than enough as a moderator as it is already. But thank you so much. If you are one of the recipients, now's your time to use the custom emojis for Emirates and for the A380 and all the other custom emojis that you want to use. Don't forget to say Dankeschön to Wolfgang. And welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Emirates Flight 147 is coming in. The number 4 worldwide on flight radar, tracked by 708 people, arriving from Dubai. Normally speaking, this airplane at this point in the sky would have flown around 6.5 hours, and today it is 6 hours and 55 minutes. We also saw that with the airplanes arriving from Turkey and other Middle Eastern and Eastern European destinations. Must have had headwind today. 6 hours 55 minutes on their way. 11 years old. The first flight of this airplane was in August 2012. This is the standard livery. Our custom emoji already features the ribbon tail of the new standard livery. But the fleet of Emirates is so big, it takes a while for everything to get repainted. Which is why the majority is still in this livery. Right, the airplane now, number 5 on flight radar, tracked by 728 people. Probably won't be able to get it into the top 3, right? Now this is also going to be the last airplane for me for today. As I said before, the weather forecast yesterday evening changed. Earlier it was rain for the entire weekend. Now it seems showers, also some dry periods tomorrow and Sunday. I hope that these dry periods will be so extensive that I will be able to go out again tomorrow and or on Sunday. I'll have another look tonight and tomorrow morning if need be. I don't see the reverser slots open, and I'm also not hearing anything. Oh, well, no, wait, the reversers do seem to be open, the inner engine reversers. Right, well, that was it for now for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I have. It was another day here at Schiphol Airport. If you like what you saw and you haven't already, don't forget to drop a like. It really helps to spread this content to other aviation fans such as yourselves. If you want to stay informed of upcoming live streams, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. For now, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you for joining us here today. Thank you for all the super chats and super stickers, the PayPal donations, the merch store purchases, and all the other forms of support. Moderators, thank you so much once again for keeping this chat friendly and accessible. I'm going to say thank you all and bye for now. Hope to see you tomorrow or later in the weekend. Be safe.